being successful on social media. Should I have done it? No. It was gross. It doesn't excuse anything, but at the same time, I hate when people call me names when I know it's not true, or people assume that I was doing stuff that I wasn't doing just because it was at a daycare. Where it was had nothing to do with what I was doing or what I was putting out or the people I was talking to. Those people did not know where I worked. Those people did not care where I work. I remember I did post in some of those groups before, like, I'm a teacher. I was trying to have that shock factor. I was trying to have that thing that makes me kind of different.
This is going to be the sickest apology video you have ever heard in your entire life. And it's going to become absolutely obvious why I'm saying that in just a minute. And it's coming from a TikTok creator called Michael Duval, who was a kindergarten teacher. Being a kindergarten teacher isn't the problem. The problem is that he posted TikToks, Reddit threads, and also text posts and images on Twitter. All good so far, except for the fact he is also an OF creator. And this is where the major problems come, because he was taking a lot of these images and videos at the kindergarten.
I guess let's just start from the very beginning. And 2020 is when I made my OnlyFans. 21 about is when I met my ex-fiance, and we got engaged in 2022, and we also broke up in 2022. But I would say that this whole OnlyFans story starts from when we were still together.
In total, this apology video from him is 10 minutes long, and I'm not going to cover it all because in the first couple of minutes he just explains about his previous relationship, and in some of it he just keeps repeating himself. So I'm only going to cover the bits that are absolutely relevant.
Now, growing up how I did, it's no shock that I was really excited seeing all this money that was coming in. And so I tried really hard. I posted hundreds, if not thousands of times a day in so many Reddit pages, on my OnlyFans, on my Twitter, just stuff like that. And as you know, I was working as a preschool teacher, technically pre-K, pre-kindergarten. And so I had a lot of free time at work where I would post on those apps.
I know a lot of people who do that job, and they tell me they don't get any free time at all. When the children are napping, they're preparing lunch or they're preparing reports for the parents of what their children did while they were there. So they didn't really have any free time. So I don't understand how he can be posting thousands of times a day. That just doesn't make sense to me. I also want to ask you what kind of mindset you think this person's got. He's putting children down for a nap who are extremely young, and then he's running off upstairs into a bathroom to take nude pictures and videos. And that's not the worst of it. You haven't heard the worst yet, but oh boy, is it coming soon, literally.
I did go to the bathroom a few times and snap a nude. A lot of the reason why I did that was because I was getting paid by people, and now when I said that, people thought I was getting paid by, like, I don't know if you can say this word, PDF files, you know what I'm trying to say. People thought I was catering to them, and now with some of those Reddit groups I was in, I should not have been in. They were definitely like dad, son, trans girls. I got kicked out of a lot of groups for like not even fitting the criteria, and it was definitely weird. But when you're in sex work, I don't know. I was just too blinded by the money that was coming in. I know that's no excuse.
Michael keeps trying to defend what he's doing and where he was doing it, saying that he wasn't catering to PDF files. But in my opinion, yes, he was. Because what other kind of person wants to see images and videos that have been recorded in a kindergarten, in a place where children are being taught? To me, there's only one kind of individual that pays for that sort of material.
So then, fast forward to the day I took my first nude at work. I honestly don't remember it, but I do remember that I would get paid, like, say, $45 to take a picture. They'd say, go take it, and I would. Now, I never did any of this while clocked in. I wasn't allowed to have bathroom breaks like that unless it was an emergency, of course.
You were clocked in. What other reason would you be there if you weren't clocked in? And how can you take thousands of these images if you're not actually there working? That makes zero sense.
So when I was in the bathroom, I was upstairs, classrooms were downstairs. I was far away from everyone in the teacher's bathroom that was locked. That's another thing people are confused about because they see that the toilets had like little training seats on it, and there was 2 toilets in the bathroom, which was kind of weird. And I think like originally a long time ago, those were kids' bathrooms and we would use them in an emergency, but for the most part, those were for the teachers.
It makes zero difference whether it was the children's bathroom or the teacher's bathroom, because from what I understand, they were still training toilets that were very small, that would give anybody the impression that they were designed for a child. So that is no excuse at all. And it wasn't the fact that you just took pictures. It was what the pictures were of, not just you being nude, but you actually masturbating and ejaculating all over these toilets. That's where the major problem is. And that is absolutely disgusting. And if you weren't on the clock, as you put it, then why didn't you go home? Oh, it's because the people wouldn't have paid for the pictures in your home, would they, Michael?
I'm not excusing anything I did. There's definitely no excuse, but I do just want to say that it would have happened at that time at any job I worked at. If I was working at the movie theater, still would have happened there instead. It just so happened to be at the daycare, which makes everything so much more worse.
You're just making excuses, Michael. It would have been bad anywhere you did it outside of your home in a public place. Not quite as bad in a cinema as it is at a place where children are going to learn, but still bad.
There's no reason or excuse I shouldn't have waited till I got home. I guess I was just too focused on the money, and at that time I hadn't started my social media career, or maybe I just started it, but I was really focused on the success I was getting on OnlyFans and all the money I was earning, and I used that money to start my shopping vlogs, and that's how I got started on social media full time.
You're trying to tell us that it was all a means to an end. This is how you got started full time on social media. So that makes it okay, does it? Well, of course it doesn't. It makes it absolutely fucking disgusting. And you deserve all of the backlash that you are receiving and much more. Those children are being sent there by their parent for them to be in a safe environment, and what you're doing and portraying is not safe at all.
Being successful on social media. Should I have done it? No. It was gross. It doesn't excuse anything, but at the same time, I hate when people call me names when I know it's not true, or people assume that I was doing stuff that I wasn't doing just because it was at a daycare. Where it was had nothing to do with what I was doing or what I was putting out or the people I was talking to. Those people did not know where I worked. Those people did not care where I work. I remember I did post in some of those groups before, like, I'm a teacher. I was trying to have that shock factor. I was trying to have that thing that makes me kind of different.
You are absolutely delusional if you think the location doesn't matter because they didn't know where it was. They didn't have to know the physical location, but they still knew that it was being carried out in a place where children were by the size of the toilets. You know, child toilets are a whole lot smaller than an adult's toilet, and they are unmistakable.
To tell you the truth from my mouth, because I know hearing it from rumors, it can sound a lot worse than it was. I promise you no kids were ever involved. What I did in that bathroom had nothing to do about the building I was in. I know I let a lot of people down, and the people I let down the most is mothers and people with kids and people who thought they could trust me and knew who I was. I just want to say I'm truly sorry. I never meant to make anyone question the type of person I was. I never meant to hurt anyone. I never meant to make those mistakes.
What do you mean it sounds a lot worse than it was? No, it was that bad. It was absolutely heinous. It was something that you should not have been doing in that situation with children around. You were there in a place of responsibility as a teacher who was there to teach preschool age children how to behave. It's not a place for doing OF content. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I know this has been a sad and sick video, but it was one that needs to be brought to light. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.